Cynthia? I bought you the world. I gave you everything you ever asked for. Is this how you repay me?
Oh, Obinna, please stop shouting. Your money is perfect, yes. But your money can't keep me warm while you are busy running your empire. I love your bank account, honey, but I love him.
They say money can buy you anything, but it can never buy a pure heart. When a billionaire realizes that the women around him only love his pocket, he decides to become the very thing they despise. But true love, just like a powerful curse, is found in the most unexpected places. This is a story of wealth, wicked deception, and a destiny that could not be stolen. Subscribe to this channel to never miss interesting stories. The world saw him as the ultimate prize. Whenever he stepped out, he was swarmed by stunning women with perfect curves and flawless smiles. They whispered sweet nothings into his ears and swore eternal love. But Obinna was no fool. He could see the greed hiding behind their lip gloss. They didn't love the man, they worshipped his bank account. Every embrace felt like a business deal. Tired of the lies, his heart grew completely cold. If his wealth was the wall keeping true love away, Obinna decided to burn it down. He made a plan so outrageous his own shadow would doubt him. He abandoned the suits, the perfumes, and the luxury. He found the most wretched, torn clothes he could lay his hands on. He was going back to the roots, to a remote, dusty village in the east where nobody knew his face. He was leaving Chief Obinna behind to become Obi, a destitute, homeless laborer. He was determined to find a woman who would love the soul beneath the rags. The journey to Umoji village was unforgiving. By the time Obi's feet hit the red earth of the village, the harsh reality of poverty struck him. The midday sun beat down on his back without mercy. His throat was parched, and his soft feet, used to designer leather, felt every sharp stone through his thin rubber slippers. But the true test of Umoji was yet to come. Before Obi could even find shade, a reckless Okada rider carrying firewood came tearing down the path. Bam! Obi was knocked violently into a muddy, filthy ditch. The rider sped off into the dust. For hours, the disguised billionaire lay in the dirt, wincing in agony. Villagers walked past him like he was invisible. Market women hissed, covered their noses, and murmured insults. No one stopped. Obinna's heart sank into the mud with him. Was the whole world this wicked? But the universe always leaves a remnant of light in the darkness. Down the path walked Amaka, an orphan whose life was a daily hell under a wicked stepmother. She was carrying a load heavy enough to break a strong man's back. But when her eyes fell on the bleeding stranger, she didn't see a filthy madman. She saw a human soul in pain. Without a single thought for her own suffering, she dropped her heavy load. She threw herself into the mud beside him. To Obi's absolute shock, this poor, exhausted girl tore the only decent piece of clothing she owned just to stop his bleeding. Her hands were hardened by farm work, but her touch was the gentlest he had ever known. As Obi looked up into her tear-filled, innocent eyes, the noise of the cruel village faded to silence. Right there, in the mud and the dirt, the billionaire knew he had found his queen. But to win her heart completely, he had to keep playing the poorest man on earth. Amaka managed to help the limping stranger all the way to her family's compound. But the moment they stepped through the gate, the atmosphere changed. Waiting for them was Mama Nkechi, a woman whose heart was as bitter as a sour lemon, and her spoiled daughter, Nkechi. They lived off Amaka's sweat while treating her like the dirt beneath their feet. Obi fell to his knees. He begged Mama Nkechi for just a small corner in the goat shed to rest his aching body, claiming he was a stranded, homeless laborer. Mama Nkechi erupted like a volcano. "God forbid," she screamed, her voice echoing through the village. "A whole me harboring a wretched, smelly madman? Are you cursed?" She and her daughter mocked him, laughing at his torn clothes, and chased him out of the compound with a broom. Rejected but not defeated, Obi found an abandoned, leaky hut on the outskirts of the village. He had no bed, no food, and no wealth, but he didn't care. His mind was entirely focused on the girl with the pure heart. For weeks, he stayed in the village, taking up heavy menial jobs just to survive. From a distance, he watched as Amaka was treated worse than a slave, beaten, stabbed, and forced to do all the back-breaking chores while Nkechi slept. Obinna could not stand seeing her suffer. Whenever Mama Nkechi wasn't looking, he would secretly help Amaka. He chopped her firewood, fetched her water from the distant stream, and helped weed the farm. Amaka always defended her wicked stepfamily, telling Obi with a gentle smile, "They are all the family I have left. I must endure." Her pure, forgiving spirit completely melted Obinna's heart. Over roasted yams and shared laughter under the village trees, the billionaire and the orphan became best friends. From the very little money he made doing heavy labor, Obinna saved every penny. He didn't buy himself better shoes or a good meal. Instead, he bought Amaka a beautiful Ankara dress and a small mobile phone just to see her smile. To Amaka, who had never received a gift in her entire life, these simple items were treasures. It was the happiest day of her life. But in that house, happiness was a crime. That evening, while searching for misplaced money, Mama Nkechi stumbled upon Amaka's hidden treasures. Jealousy and rage took over. When Amaka returned from the farm, Mama Nkechi confronted her, accusing the poor girl of stealing and bringing shame to their family name. No matter how much Amaka cried and explained that it was a gift from Obi, the wicked woman refused to listen. She seized everything for her own daughter. But stealing her gifts wasn't enough for Mama Nkechi. She wanted to break Amaka's spirit completely. At midnight, under a terrifying thunderstorm, Mama Nkechi dragged Amaka by her hair and threw her out of the house. "Useless thief! Go and sleep in the bush!" she screamed, slamming the heavy iron gate. Amaka was left completely alone in the freezing rain, shivering and heartbroken. With nowhere else to go, the trembling girl ran through the dark village to the only friend she had. When Obi opened the door of his leaky hut and saw his queen soaked, freezing, and crying, something inside the billionaire snapped. He wrapped his only dry shirt around her shoulders and sat by the fire, holding her cold hands. As he watched her cry herself to sleep, Obinna made a silent vow. Mama Nkechi had crossed the line. The time for hiding was over. He was going to wipe Amaka's tears forever. The next morning, the quiet village of Umoji was woken up by a sound they had never heard before. The roar of heavy engines. A convoy of 5 gleaming, bulletproof SUVs rolled through the dusty paths, stopping right in front of Mama Nkechi's compound. The entire village gathered, their mouths wide open. Who in heaven's name was visiting them? A chauffeur hurriedly opened the door of the biggest car, and out stepped the man they had chased away with a broom just months ago. Gone were the dirty rags. Gone was the smell of sweat. Standing before them in pure, majestic royalty was Chief Obinna, the billionaire. The village crowd gasped. Mama Nkechi's jaw literally dropped to the floor, her hands trembling as she realized that the smelly madman was a king in disguise. Obinna ignored the whispers and walked straight to the back of the crowd, where Amaka stood shivering in confusion. He took her rough, tired hands in his, and right there in the red dust, the billionaire went down on one knee. "You loved me when I had absolutely nothing," he said softly, slipping a diamond ring onto her finger. "Now let me give you everything." The village erupted in cheers.